Yeah, so I've never been to one before. This is my first
Oh,
one.
okay.
So it's not growing up in Pittsburgh, and school always started around that time. It was hard to escape for a weekend just to go to Pirates Fest, but no, it was cool. I think you mentioned on like the Fort Friday that like Twitter is not real life. It was basically like that. Like no one was angry. There was a whole lot of kids there. Uh, it was a good time. Um, I
I would
think
agree. Like
I got to
I
meet
think
some
it's a
cool
good.
people. What do you say?
Yeah, like going back to what you said, like for 24 hours there, Twitter was kind of upset, but like the people who are going to Pirates Fest, they're there because they're hyped about the team, they're
Mhm.
excited, they want to see the players, they want like that. They're it's a genuinely happy bunch of people. Like people aren't going to Pirates Fest to be miserable.
Yeah, like there were a couple like boos for like when like Travis Williams and Ben Sherrington came out like right before the Q&A, but besides that, like everyone was having a good time. I think the biggest complaint was that there were just so many lines. And I think that's because, and I don't know if anyone heard about this, but there was an RV show in the convention center the same day, and the Pirates wanted the bottom floor of the convention center, which I guess is bigger. I guess
Okay.
it's more spacious, and the Pirates could not book it over the RV show.
So the RV show got
Yeah, the RV show
priority.
got priority
Yeah.
over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's
I don't
good
know
to
if you've
know.
ever been to one of those RV shows. They are legit.
I thought it was actually like really cool because you walk over like
Yeah.
a sky bridge to where like the actual Pirates Fest is, and you just see like this huge ocean of RVs, and it was honestly kind of cool. Like I didn't get to go down, but I was impressed.
Yeah, those boat and RV shows, they're pretty fun. But yeah, back to Pirates Fest. I remember, so I haven't been to Pirates Fest in years.
Mhm.
Uh I mean, I haven't lived in Pittsburgh in a while. The last Pirates Fest I went to was at the Carnegie Science Center,
Oh,
which
wow.
is a smaller venue
Mhm.
than the convention center. So that's the one thing I most remember about Pirates Fest are just the lines.
Yeah,
It's just you're waiting in line to get to every single thing. Um, I mean, there's a payoff at the end of the line, but yeah, I
Mhm.
remember I remember as a kid, tons of lines.
Yeah, like it was like the kids autograph line because after the huge outrage about only season ticket holders were
Mhm.
getting auto sessions, and then they said actually no, we're gonna have we're gonna have autographs for kids all day for free. And that line, I was there from like when it was most crowded at like 10 a.m. till like 3 p.m. That line never shortened.
Yeah,
It was that long the entire time.
yeah.
And I'm glad the kids seem to enjoy it, but I think I would have gone crazy like waiting in like an hour-long line to get a Colin Holderman autograph.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I get that, but I think the cool thing about Pirates Fest, like I said, there's the lines, but like on a positive note, like everybody's there. Like you're just surrounded by people who are like-minded individuals. They want to see the Pirates win. They're huge Pirates fans. So, I guess were you able to meet up with some people there? Um, you know,
Yeah.
overall vibes of kind of everybody in attendance.
Yeah, and the first thing is like it is a really nice friendly event. It's like you're chatting with like random strangers while you're waiting in line. We're talking to this like one group of people who were telling us like all about their like spring training visits and how excited they were to be there. But yeah, no, I got to see Connor, writer for Buck's Dugout there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the guys from Bridge to Bucktober podcast. I saw the guys from around the 412 podcast. So yeah, no, and then I also just got to see some personal friends. So it was a really like fun time. Like I got to meet some cool new people. Like the podcast guys I met were super friendly. They were really cool to hang out with. And and talk with as you listen to the Q&A and they kind of give their non-answers.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, it was, and I didn't. I would say like if I was a kid, I would have eaten that stuff up because even though the lines were long, you got to like Connor Joe was like pitching balls in like this little like mini baseball field that you could hit. You could try to throw a pitch as fast as you can. We saw Brian Reynolds out by like they had like a bunch of Xboxes set up and PlayStations, and you could like play Madden or the show with them, and that was really cool. I don't know if anyone struck out Brian Reynolds, but
in the show.
In the show, yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun, like playing video games with players. I guess talk to us though. So the Q&A was kind of a big talking point going in. They were pre-screening questions, but it sounds like based off of the questions that they took, they didn't just pick all cupcakes. Like they picked real legit questions that people want answered, and then on top of that, all the outrage was for naught. They did open up questions to the general audience. So I guess talk to me about that in particular. What were kind of your main takeaways? What were some good questions? What were some good answers?
Yeah. Well, first I'll say is like I'm impressed because that Q&A session was like 50 minutes long. Like it was about a 50-minute long, and a part of it is because these are politicians who filibuster for 3 minutes on every single question. But like it was well done. They took hard questions. They did allow the audience to speak, and I was talking to people like friends. I thought it was like just normal that every team had like a Pirates Fest type thing. They got to have a Q&A with the front office owner, but no, that doesn't happen in most other places. And so kudos to them for doing that every single year, because that can't be easy. Just to be up there for 50 minutes. But I think one of the best ones, like the most transparent I've ever heard Ben Sherrington, was someone asked about Andy Rodriguez, getting hurt in Winter League ball. And he's like, and I learned like you can't say no to players if they want to go play winter ball if they've been healthy all year.
Okay.
And that was really cool. You learned some stuff like they talked about. I know the big thing going around was that their top 5 spending in development.
Yeah, I heard that answer, and it's like, yeah.
I don't know how they got there.
So like, they didn't like explain how they quantify that.
No, but like, if anything, that kind of just raises the expectations for them. Like, hey, we better see some like good players next year. I really liked Derek Shelton getting asked about lineups, and like you could just see like the look of pain on his face because he has to answer that question every single day. I think his response was, I change the lineups every day so the Pittsburgh sports media has something to talk about. And like that was really like
that's funny.
That's a Neil approved answer to Shelton apologist over here.
Yes, I was laughing. It's how I would respond. So I kind of liked. It was nice to know that my boy Shelton does that. But
he's just like me.
And the payroll questions were the payroll questions. Like well, we spend money in places. I guess it was nice to know. They said like, I guess they do read Twitter because Ben Sherrington was very adamant that they do offer multi-year deals. It's not off the table, but it hasn't come to fruition yet for whatever reason. So, but the expectations got raised for me now because, top 5 in development, they offer multi-year deals. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's see it now. You've spoken it into
done,
existence.
right?
But no, it was a pretty good Q&A. I was impressed.
Let me ask this too, because I was wondering, because going into it, we heard obviously, well, it's all you saw them put out there, like submit your questions. So that was part of the initial outrage, is like, oh, it's all going to be, screened questions and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So like of those 50 minutes, you said there's about 50 minutes to Q&A?
I'd say about 50-minute Q&A, yeah.
How much of it was like given questions they're reading off, and then how much of it was like from the actual audience?
It was legitimately about half and half. Like they started out with like, basically they kind of came out and did like, all right, we got a ton of requests, like a bunch of repeats. So Greg Brown's up there, like first 4 questions, all like pre-screened questions. And after that, it was legitimately like every other question was an audience asked thing. So like, I think by the end of it, like there were probably 10 different audience asked questions. And I think that's pretty good. Like they got like 20 or so questions in. And I mean, some of them were kind of like, whatever, like, I don't really care if they think that this team's a playoff team next year. I would hope that they do, but like there were a lot of hard questions, and one question even had Ben Sherrington stuttering because he was being pressed on pitching development, and that was really funny. But
what was the answer there?
What?
What was the answer there? I did see them get asked about like about like especially velocity drops with some of these younger guys.
Yeah, so he didn't go into any specifics. He was just kind of like, we've had those same discussions. We also noticed that a lot of our young guys took steps back this year, and so we have to go back and understand like how to reload and get them fixed for the spring. So it wasn't really like anything substantial, but I don't expect Ben Sherrington to tell us, what the process is. I don't blame him there, but it was
at least we know they recognized it.
Yeah, no, it was good, and like he even had to acknowledge that some of his players were kind of bad last year because like the actual names were dropped, and so he's like, yeah, like, so guys like Rowe and Ortiz like need to be better next year, and that was cool.
At least they don't think that. I guess with that, what's nice is because of just Marine and the pitching development and the kind of you seeing a pattern of these pitchers losing velocity. You almost thought, like, is this an organizational thing where they're telling people to not throw as hard? So it sounds like that's not necessarily the case.
No, I know that. I think I know like that they were trying to get Ortiz to throw like a little softer for control reasons, but like I think Rowanzi. I don't think anyone knows what happened to Rowanzi, so. It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
But no, Q&A was really, it was well done. And again, like I'm biggest Ben Sherrington critic, but that was the most transparent I've ever heard him. Now he still gave his GM answers and like, when he doesn't actually say anything for a minute, but it was good. I was impressed.
All right. So give it a grade. Give your first ever Pirates Fest a grade.
So if I was a kid, it would be an A.
Okay. All right.
As an adult, it's and I say like it should be for kids. And you got to see some cool things, like you got to see Ryan Barucki and David Bednar carve watermelons, and that was there was some silly stuff like that. There was like a coach's corner. It was like the players were active, and that was the cool thing. Like there were players just everywhere. But I would say give it a B. And I would take my kids there for sure. I probably wouldn't go back like just by myself, like just for like myself again, but like because I got it once, but it was a good time. And especially if I have kids, I would definitely take them. It's a kid heavy event, but I think that's important. Even if childless autograph collectors were upset about it,
raising a new generation of idiots too. So
child abuse, yeah.
Yep.
But that's good to hear. I like that perspective because, again, like we said, Twitter isn't real. You saw the outrage and such, and whether it was mostly warranted or not, the people that were actually there attending, good vibes, as well, mostly put together product, and a lot of people too. Like my biggest takeaway too is I wondered if they were expecting whether it was like over 20,000 tickets that were sold.
It was weird. It was weird because like Jim, I know you said like there was lines. I don't know if like they anticipated how many people were going to come, or they just don't have the space. They can't physically find the space to hold that many people. But like, it was good regardless. But even despite the lines, but you would like to not have to wait 30 minutes to like fill up a Pirates charity swag bag that you pay $30 for.
Did you get one of the mystery bags with the baseballs?
I did not. But my friend who I was there with, he was quite distraught. He spent $50 and got a Will Crow and a Rob Zombie baseball.
Rob Zastristy?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And
I think that was I was having so much fun with that on Saturday.
That was incredible. And I
baseballs being pulled.
I get the outrage, like I really do. But honestly, like I think it's kind of the charm. And like I'm two minds. It was very obvious the Pirates were just dumping
their trash.
Like they're trash. Like it was very clear that they were dumping their trash. But on the other hand, I think it's kind of like a funny. It's kind of like better and kind of like funnier if you say, yeah, I went to Pirates Fest, got 3 Will Crow balls and a Heath Hembry,
right?
Because like if you just got like if you just got like I don't know, if you just got a Yeri De Los Santos baseball, like that's whatever. But I think like it's kind of like a better story and it's funnier. That's people are pulling 4 different like Heath Hembry, like I forget the article,
There was one I saw where it was a Heath Hembry and 3 Will Crows.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. And I would be upset because they were charging $25 per mystery ball.
Yeah,
and that's a lot. I was more upset that I missed the mystery jerseys because I would rock whatever crappy player they gave me.
Yeah,
for $50. You know, I think that
absolutely.
I would much rather spend $50 and get a Will Crow jersey opposed to 25 and get a baseball. I'll say that. Yeah,
I'd rock a Will Crow jersey all day. Yeah,
yeah.
And you know, I but the jersey sold out within like the first half hour. I think I was like 10 minutes late, and I was there. I was one of the first people there, so it's okay, but a little disappointed.
Hey, you all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.